I want to thank you all for joining Kevyn MTV Live. Do me a favor, real quick. Go post this link. Go on your Facebook, your Twitter, your Yahoo, your Gmail, your MSN, your Fox, your CBS, your CW, Philly, or whatever state or city you're from. Go and post it. Share the link. Let them know that Kevyn M is live right now. I'm going to give you guys a couple of seconds to do that. And like I said, a couple of seconds. So now we're moving on. Say hi to my guest, everybody. Hi, guest. Before I get into the show, I'm going to just say a couple of things to you guys. If you were watching me earlier, I was online earlier, doing a whole lot of stuff. I have had on here a lot of other clips, a lot of old clips playing. But at the start of that, I came across the video I did, interview of these guys actually, back in.
That was like
in December.
Yeah, December.
Back in December, I interviewed them, and I played the actual interview on here earlier, so for you to watch. So I said, it might be a good idea to get them back on and do an update interview. Should I sit back here with y'all?
That'd be nice.
That sounds cool.
Updates.
So that's why I have them back. But since we're talking about updates, I have a couple of events going on that I would like to invite you all to come to. First one being this weekend, actually. I'm doing another Freak Fest in Philly. So if you are in the Philadelphia area, hit me up and I will give you information about the Freak Fest. Secondly, Philadelphia Pride is coming up on the end of April, and I'm having another party for Pride. Actually, I'm having a weekend of parties. Like Friday through Monday, I will be partying. I will be so tired and drained, but I will be partying. You guys will be happy. So if you're not in the Philadelphia area, that might be a good weekend to come out. There's a lot of stuff going on in Philadelphia outside of just my parties. That's also Penn Relay Weekend. So you might want to check that out. And that's April the 29th through May 1st. Now, finally, the Purple Party. Yay! My birthday celebration is on May 14th. Jesus. May 14th, I will be doing the Purple Party to celebrate my 20-something birthday.
20-something?
Yes. Okay. You guys should come out and support. Tickets are on sale now, so if you're interested, send me a message or email me, and I will make sure that you guys get your tickets. So I want to also plug, even though neither of these guys are on here right now, Duncan's Playground. He has a blog. I've been on it several times. And The Scoop Entertainment, he has a blog as well, and I've been on that several times, as well as Lashing Out. He has a broadcast he does on Tuesday nights called Lashing Out, and his co-host is Helena Hologram. And they have a very entertaining show as well. So I just wanted to plug those guys real quick. If you have a blog, an online show, or an event that you would like for me to plug, send me the information. Send it to my email at kvnmines@gmail.com. And make sure you put Kevyn MTV plug in the subject box so I know what it is when I see it. All right, moving on. I wanted to introduce my co-host, who doesn't want to be on camera right now, but it's been so long since we did a show together. I wanted to definitely give a shout out to Ed, aka Gail. Hi, Ed, aka Gail.
Hi, everyone.
So much life. And now on to the show. Like I said, back in December, I called these guys over. Or no, I didn't even call them over. They just so happened to come. Yeah, they just so happened to pop up, and I said, "Ooh, let me interview you." So they happily obliged, and we sat down. I asked them a bunch of questions. We laughed a lot and sang jingle bells every time I heard a doorbell ring.
Oh, that is true. You know, that's true.
But we had a really good time. And like I said, when I was preparing for tonight, and I was looking at that, I said, you know what, it might be a good idea to bring those guys back on the show and let you guys meet them, because you guys, if you didn't see the broadcast from earlier, there's a clip that I recorded from earlier that's on here, so you guys can watch about 30 minutes of that hour-long interview. But it was fun. It was a good hour. It wasn't a bad hour. Also, I said not only do I want to post this clip for you guys, but I'll bring them on so you guys can meet them for yourselves. So I'm going to introduce you guys to Aaron and TJ or Timothy Foster.
How you doing?
I did say that this was a gay couple, right? Because he's so gay. So how you guys doing tonight?
I'm fine.
Tired.
Tired.
Always tired.
Why are you always tired?
Always working.
Always working.
Always working.
You're not working right now.
Don't let him fool you. He not
True.
always
I'm off
tired.
now, but I'm always tired.
Okay.
Whatever.
How long have you guys been together?
Whew. Together as a couple, it'll be 3 years in June.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Just
we've
making
been
sure.
married for 5 months now.
So it's fresh.
Right. Very fresh.
3 years and 5 months.
Still kind of juicy, yes, very much so. Still kind of juicy.
Okay. So what differences have you noticed from dating and then being married?
Well, from my perspective, like our relationship really hasn't changed much, other than, I mean, like from the outside, people have changed. Like with us, I don't think we've changed much at all, but that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But like our friends who we've had before the relationship, now that we're in one, and now that we're married, even more so, like they just started dropping off. Like I guess
Is that a good or bad thing?
I think it's a good thing because that shows that like they weren't really friends to begin with. Because if they can't like appreciate the relationship that we have as a couple, then they can't accept us as individuals either because they don't want to be around us as a couple. So I mean, I think it's good.
Well, yeah.
Personally.
Like,
How do you
sort
feel,
of
TJ?
what he was saying about the last part. Like, I'm just going to start backwards. Like, I think that it's a great thing that people are dropping off like flies because I've been telling him since we got together that they had to go. So it's just like a whole bunch of I told you so, I told you so, I told you so, because people have these mentalities where they don't care really about what's going on with you and your lover. They just care about what they want at the time. And for me, if you ask me, I don't really care what they want because I'm more focused on him.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, friends dropping off is all cool and dandy because I can find somebody who actually cares for me.
So would I be so bold to ask, who runs the house?
Ooh.
Because I just drew up an opinion as to who I think runs the house, but I'll let Aaron answer that question.
Let's just put it this way. I let him think he runs the house.
Oh. Hold on. Don't get smart.
No, I'm not getting smart. But in all opinion, I let him think he runs it. I mean, I'm in the background. I make sure things happen the way I want them to happen. But he likes to think he's in charge, so I just let him think that. That's the best way to go.
It's like this. I run a tight ship, and I ask him about other topics that are so-called important to him that he needs to know.
Oh, really?
But I run a tight ship.
That's funny.
So would you say that you run the house?
I would say I run the household, but he runs the how can I put it? It's a little bit more difficult to actually say. Let's just say I don't know, he's the planner. I put the plans in motion. So he'll talk about it, but I'll make sure it gets done.
That's
So
what I said.
I guess.
So in
I
other
think
words,
I run it
So in
down.
all fairness, you run it.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
That
Very
works.
So why wasn't that your answer to begin with? In all honesty, like that, we talked about this before. I don't want anyone saying "fuck you, gal" because I'm not on camera, and I'm not gonna have too much to say. But I was an 8.5-year relationship, and it is a same-sex ego thing that as men or as lesbians, like it's.
you're a lesbian?
No, it's like it seems to be a same-sex thing when the same-sex people, another dude is telling you what to do or another female is telling you what to do. You feel like you're less. You feel like you're the bitch. I mean, and it is true. But you guys just basically answered the question. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That you guys run it together, and what you're doing is you're coming up with a plan and you're agreeing to do it. So you're.
So, but if you say who does the most action, it'll be me because he talks. I'm the one that curse people's out and throw their shit out the door if I don't want them to be in my house. I'm the type of person to do that. So
That's not running your household. That's putting people out. Running your household is the daily goings on.
Right.
Snort?
Yes,
Okay.
Snorting on TV and stuff.
I just think like the whole thing falls into place with like
It does. It really does, though.
you know, and if it's when it's simple, it's right. That's my new favorite saying.
Yeah. All right. So, anyway,
You're right.
some ignorant person who don't know how to spell wrote 3 black people together and organized crime.
Well, I better be careful. I'm the only white one here. They might roll me.
Anyway,
Do we block them?
yes.
Okay.
All right. So
I'll pat them down when they leave.
you guys,
Oh my God.
you guys live in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, and in this state is they do not allow men to marry men. So tell us your story. How did it happen?
About how we got married?
Yeah. Where'd y'all get married? How'd y'all get married?
Well, one day he was just like, when are we gonna get married? And I'm like, whenever you want to, I guess. So, I mean, we just got the money together and we flew to Boston and had to get the marriage certificate first, and then we flew back to Boston, and then we actually got married. So, I mean, like, it's kind of upsetting that we couldn't do it here so our family and our friends could be here, but, I mean, we always knew that we had their support regardless of wherever we got married at. I mean, even though it may not be recognized here, the fact that, I mean, like I kept telling him, even if we didn't get married, I saw us as a married couple because of our day-to-day life. So,
But I gave him an ultimatum, and he just decided to follow through with it.
but yeah, when I Boston got married.
So real quick, do you guys just follow me because I know that you guys love each other. You guys been together like 3 years and been married for 5 months or whatever. I don't remember that right now. We'll get to it.
Okay.
Why did y'all have to get married? You were already a couple. You already knew that y'all loved each other.
Mm-hmm.
Why was it so important that y'all get married?
Well, I think I'll answer that because originally he didn't want to get married. I'm the type, I don't know, I'm just the type of person where I feel like it's just the name for me. I think it's the status for me. I feel like most women do. Most women come into this world and they're looking for, the perfect man, and they want to get married. And I've always wanted to get married. If it were with a woman or with a man, at first it didn't matter, but once I, realized that I was gay, I was like, well, I have to get married with this guy because I want to be with him for the rest of my life. I guess it's just an extra tie. I don't know.
Okay.
Something I can hold on to.
How do you feel about this?
Before we got married, like I said, I always told him that there was really no need to get married. Before we got into a relationship, I mean, the fact of the matter was, regardless of what title we have on our relationship, doesn't really make a difference to me. I mean, the only reason, I'm glad that we got married, but it really wouldn't have made a difference if we didn't, because, like I said, I saw us as a married couple already. Like, our day-to-day lives was a married couple. Go to work, I come home, he's home, because at the time he wasn't working. So, like, he took care of the house while I was working. So it was like a marriage, like, in itself. So I didn't really see the necessity for a title, but that's what we wanted.
That's kind of hot. I want to know, what are some of the difficulties you guys face before, during, and after you guys' ceremony?
Before the ceremony, his parents hated me to death. They did not. Well, they still don't. But at the time, they did not like me. They didn't want him bringing up my name. They didn't want to see me ever. They just basically hated me without even knowing me. And that was really bad. But on me personally, I never knew that my brother didn't accept it. Like, my whole family was gun-ho about the whole situation.
You gonna cry again?
No, I'm not. But my mom, my dad, my sister, and my 2 little brothers, they, surprisingly enough, they're only 13 now, but they accepted it. Like, they knew what it was. Me and TJ had been together for about 2.5 years at the time. Mm-hmm. So, they accepted it. But then, my oldest brother, I never knew. Right before we got married, I invited him to come to the reception, and he just said no, he wasn't coming, and he didn't agree with it, the only thing that made me really upset was he kept reiterating how he didn't accept it and didn't agree with it. And I mean, I understood it the first time he said it. You don't have to keep saying it over and over again. But that was the toughest thing that I had to face before the wedding. I mean, after the wedding, nothing really changed with us. Like, nothing was really hard for me. I mean, it was like a day to day. Like, after we came back from Boston, had the certificate or the license rather, like nothing really changed for me. Like,
but like truth is, like he's saying with his brother, before his brother said no, his brother came to his parents' house. We were all talking about us getting married. We were talking about how, you know, we were ready for it and we were taking the steps. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm cool with it. You know, TJ or Tim is fine. He's cool. I don't know much about him, but you know, da 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 da. And him and his dad and his brothers go outside and they have this long conversation about me. It made me kind of nervous, but you know, when they came back in, everything seemed like it was okay. And then as soon as we invite you to come, it's just like, oh, I don't agree with it. I don't know him. I just don't want to have anything to do with it. And I'm just really disrespectful because on the daily basis, you're fine with me. So I don't see what the issue is, you know?
So that was before. I lightly want to touch on it, but after that, like since the ceremony and months have passed, have you seen any change in it at all?
Not really. Like,
he makes me uncomfortable still.
Who, my brother?
Yeah. I won't have a whole conversation with him, and his wife is really snooty, and so I can't talk to her either.
Has your brother come around to it?
No. I don't think. I mean, in all actuality, we never actually like sat down and talked about it. I think that was the biggest problem. Like, he didn't find out from me. He found out through my older sister.
Do you guys tight growing up?
No, he's 16 years older than me. So, like, once he moved out the house, we like rarely saw him. So when it came to the fact of me being gay, like, I guess my mom was trying to keep it from him. Ask me why, I'll never know. But she didn't tell him, and my dad didn't tell him. And, like, he found out through my older sister. And then when he never approached me about it. So I think that was the biggest problem coming into it because he never approached me. And the fact that we weren't tight, like, growing up, just made it all the more reason to say, well, I don't really know about it and so on and so forth. But I don't know. Like, I don't think he'll ever come around to it. I mean, he accepts me. Like, we talk and whatever. But I don't think it'll ever come around to the fact of him accepting our relationship as a couple. So, I don't know.
As far as accepting your relationship as a marriage and acknowledging, you guys went to Boston because there it's legalized for civil union. Mm-hmm. Here in the state of Pennsylvania, it's not legalized. Mm-hmm. Do you guys run into any issues with the state, like medical issues, insurance, anything like that? Because do the state of Pennsylvania even acknowledge?
No.
So they won't even acknowledge you guys.
If he, God forbid, one of them was on life support,
it would go to his parents. I couldn't say a word.
We'll go to the next of kin.
Right.
It's really disrespectful. In all honesty,
look, in all actuality, we had this conversation before with the whole thing with don't ask, don't tell, and the whole insurance right issue. And the thing is that you guys went the distance and you got that piece of paper that's so important to you guys. You guys need to go get another piece of paper, which is a power of attorney from a lawyer. You need to spend the money. And so your partner and I had this heated debate about that. The fact of the matter is that you only went half the distance. Unfortunately for homosexual Americans in this country, that piece of paper that you guys hold is worth a lot to you, but it's worth nothing in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. However, if you guys go to a lawyer, draw paperwork, that's a legal binding contract. It has to be followed.
Like, I've always told him, like, the scariest thing to me in the world is, because I know, like, we went to Boston, whatever, got the marriage license, but I know here it's not legalized or whatever. But I told him the scariest thing to me in the world is, God forbid anything happened to him and like he died or whatever. I know his parents would let me come to the funeral. Like, it would just be something that they would be like, no, it's not happening. That's the fact that they feel so strongly about the situation, I know they wouldn't let me come, and that would like break my heart. That would be like the worst thing in the world.
But see, I didn't tell him this when we talked about it. When we talked about it, I told him that, you know, like my last wish in my will, if anything, was that him and my parents got together or like were able to talk about the situation, because truth be told, he is an even more intertwined part of my life than my parents are, because, you know, I separated myself at the age of 18. And as soon as I separated myself from them, he walked into my life. So I'm saying you can't ignore a part of my life unless you want to disown me.
The fact of the matter is you guys need to put that money out and get that drawn up legally so nobody can take that from you.
Right.
Because at this point, that marriage certificate is worth what it is. It's a piece of
It's paper. Right.
And, you know, his partner and I, we had a heated debate one night about that. Were we face to face or were we over the internet? No, we were sitting here.
Yeah, we were sitting over here.
And he's like, I refuse to do that. I said, then you don't want it bad enough. Because if you want it that bad, and if you want to be acknowledged, you would be basically tell people, fuck you, you're not taking this away from me. Exactly. Which is the marriage license they can take from you. That legal document they can't take from you.
So I wonder, because Lee Hayes just said something. So luckily in DC, gays can get married. So, like, in Boston, you can get married. Via Speaker said in Jersey they can get married. And in D.C. they can get married. So, do they, like, different states?
It's done by the state.
Absolutely. So, if it's done by, and even though D.C. is a district, not really a state, but so it'll be recognized in these other states.
Absolutely. So, basically, if they wanted to have the law, the legal rights of a married couple, they would have to say. That's why when Connecticut was doing it, they were all going to Connecticut and doing it. But once you step out of Connecticut, you're no longer acknowledged as married.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Married.
Okay. So, what do you guys do to get through like the tough times in your relationship, whether it be issues with each other, financial things, if it's family members or whatever the case may be? How do you guys get through the tough times?
Can I say this one? Okay. Rule number 1: don't argue with the person who you are living with if you're going to see them 5 minutes later, because it just defeats the purpose.
He's very passionate about it.
Yeah, because it bothers me. Like, it bothers me. I don't see point in arguing because you're just gonna see the person 5 minutes later anyway, and you're just gonna stay mad. But anyway, number 2 is always, like everybody says, communication. If you really, don't talk, you really won't solve anything. I mean,
snaps up. I got a snap.
That did hurt. Just a little bit.
Sorry.
He was very passionate about it.
I'm very passionate about communication.
I'm a really bad communicator.
He really is. He really is. But what I have to do is
how do you balance that out? If you're a bad communicator and it is so important to you, how do y'all balance it?
Do you hear how fast and how much he's talking now? He sits and nags at me until I sit down and talk to him, regardless of what it is.
I have a question. I got to cut you off right there. Hold on real quick, because in the last interview, you told me that if he's mad, the best thing to do is to leave him alone.
It's true, but
that's how I do it. Like, if he's mad, I'll leave it alone until he's ready to talk to me. But if I'm like, if there's something going on in the house and he say, well, we need to talk about this, I'm like, well, I really don't feel like talking. But he'll sit there and keep talking and keep nagging at me and keep poking me until I just open up and talk, and I have no choice but to talk.
Sounds like a friend I have.
Like, there's been days I would take him right upstairs in the room, I will close the door, and I'm like, you're gonna sit here until you talk to me.
And I have no choice.
And
or else he'll follow me around the house and just keep saying we need to talk.
I sure will, because
but what? Okay, let me interject here. What is your adversity of talking? Because
don't make it personal.
No, I mean,
don't make it personal.
What do you mean? I'm not making. I'm asking him.
Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. Don't make it personal.
Wait, what?
I'm. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying go ahead. I just wanted to throw it out there. Go ahead.
You guys are the ones on the couch. I'm the one sitting up in the chair. What does that say?
You want to ask the question.
What is your adversity to talking and working out the situation? Because my philosophy behind arguing is argue to be heard, not win. Meaning, if I have something I want to say to you, I want you to hear me. I don't want you to agree with me. I want you to hear what I'm saying and where I'm coming from. Mm-hmm. So it's not, the purpose of having an argument is not for either one of you to be winning. It's for both of you to be heard. Mm-hmm. And so many people think when they're in an argument that they need to win, when the purpose of an argument is to be heard.
Mm-hmm. So
my question is, what do you gain? What do you gain in avoiding a situation and not resolving it?
Nothing. It's just, I don't know. I get really frustrated really easily, and when I feel like it's something I don't want to talk about, I try to avoid it for as long as possible. But I don't know. It's just like I really don't like. I get frustrated if it's something like serious. I get really frustrated really easily, and then I just don't want to. Like, I might start talking. So I'm not gonna say I don't talk at all. I'll start the conversation, but then when he says something that I don't like, I get frustrated and I just stop talking.
I'm sitting here watching TJ's face and the face of TJ over here.
Like, oh my god.
But communication is the key.
Yeah, I know.
It's the key to any relationship.
Rule 2. Are there more?
No, not that I can think of. Like,
just
the
to
most
argue with somebody that
was,
you're going to see 5 minutes later.
Exactly, because it doesn't make sense. It would. Oh God, you have no idea.
So, Next question is, what was the best advice anyone has given you guys in your marriage, in your union?
I mean, it's simple. Like my mom told me before we even got married, she said, regardless of how anyone else feels about it, as long as you two are happy, then go for it. And that's why I did what I did. Because if I had my mom backing me up, even like me and my dad are close, but even if he didn't say like go for it, I would have still done it because my mom had my back, regardless of anything that.
Boys and their mom.
Regardless of my mom and my sister, like if they had my back, then no one else could tell me that I couldn't do it. So, like that was the best thing I got from my mom.
If I could like put a little thing with it, your mom would be the eyes and your sister would be the tears because she stays crying about everything.
My sister?
Your mom sees everything coming and your sister cries about it. I swear. It really
Just as a segue, let me let you guys know that before they were a couple, now they're a married couple because the way they're talking and things going on now, they're definitely a married couple now. All right, so what was the worst advice anyone has ever given you?
The worst advice that I've ever been given, I was talking to a friend, won't say any names, but he told me that the best way to enjoy a relationship, he didn't even say a marriage, he just said the best way to enjoy a relationship is to be in it for your own pleasure. And that's the best way you can enjoy it. And at first, when I first got into the relationship with him, I was trying to make sure I was happy. But I didn't really care about how he was feeling, just as long as I was satisfied with the relationship. But boy, did I learn quick that it doesn't work that way. Because when he was unhappy, I started to realize that I was unhappy.
Absolutely. And
it just all kind of rolls downhill after that. So, but yeah, that's the very worst advice I've ever
What would you say?
A lot of my single friends told me to stay single, not to get married, not to be in a relationship. I just felt really bad. But I don't know. Like you would think that your friends would like have your back, but a lot of my so-called friends told me not to do it.
Well, think about this: when you get married, a lot of single people are going to lose their friend because things that married couples do, single people don't do.
True.
And things that single people do, married couples shouldn't do if they want to stay married anyway. So to some extent, you do kind of like disband at some point. Y'all may still love each other, keep in touch from here to there, but y'all can't hang out and do things y'all used to do. So, one of the questions I wanted to ask you guys is: being married, does that add a sense of belonging or something? Like you feel like like I actually it feels different now being married opposed to just being in a regular relationship. Like, do y'all feel like I belong to? Does it give you some type of exclusivity or some type of security?
Me personally, I'm the type of person I like to feel like I am, for lack of a better word, owned. And not no. Can I try?
Okay.
So,
no, I'm not going to try. I'm going to succeed.
Because that's not the word I was looking for.
An object is owned.
Right.
And I had a quote on my refrigerator, and it said, the problem in the world nowadays is we love things. We love things. How did it go?
I forget.
It was a really good quote.
If I can remember what it was.
We value. The problem in the world today is we love things. And we love things and we use people as opposed to using things and loving people.
Or something like
So if you're saying that you want to be owned, it's saying you want to be used.
Well, no.
Or
in a sense.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. You want to feel like you belong to someone.
Right. I want to...
Yeah, feeling obligated.
Yeah,
but
obligated or something like that. Yeah, it's something like that. I feel like
you want to feel like you belong to someone.
Right. Like I have this thing that's connecting me and him. Because when I separated from my parents, it was kind of like on some like I really don't want to talk to you ever again in my life type of stuff.
What was that, because of your homosexuality?
Yeah. And when I left like that, I felt like I was kind of out there by myself.
So they're still not accepting of your homosexuality?
No.
No.
Not at all.
No. But like I just felt like I was out there by myself, and when I met him, it was just like, oh my God, finally somebody is there with me.
Absolutely, I get that.
So yeah, like that's that. Did I answer the question?